more and more the world suppresses its dilemma, which is, I think that it's more than a pandemic. It's more of a survival tactic on behalf of some officials that don't want to decide whether or not they want to cut the price in half. Like I said, you don't want to do that periodically because of the systematic oppression and approach, which is you feel like you're losing something, but in all reality, it seems as if you lost a lot more than you thought. That's why, hence, you want to say no more remote learning, no more virtual learning, because it offsets the previous educational system, which is failing anyway, from the shootings to masquerades, parties, and things of that nature. And like I said, what could be the cause of the coronavirus? And what is the coronavirus? We'll see. Because I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at something else, which is this AIDS virus. Now, I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between the two, because the AIDS is an immunodeficiency disease. Now, do you have a cure for that? And if not, then could you tell me what's the difference exactly? Because I'm seeing not too much of a difference from what I'm seeing, but there may be more in the virus of the corona than I thought. And so, with that being said, America, I see your portrayal of my media slash you want to turn it around. Go ahead, be my guys. And Joe is out of his basement with plans to approach 100 million more doses in the arms of Americans. But I'm looking at it and saying to myself, well, I said you're going to need more doses than that. But then approaching it the way that you need me to, I don't know if I'm doing what all that you need me to do because of the simple fact that you're saying no remote learning. That means you want to approach this at a point that it never happened. But we also have previous situations where you go in that same route systematically. And we'll see where that gets you. And like I said, I'm waiting for all of the outcomes. Now, let's just wait and see what happens. Because you want millions and millions and millions of infants to children in the mass for several hours. To do what? Exactly. They can't do learning remotely. Because, like I said, it's a systematic money exchange between those millions and millions of parents getting back to this so-called work ethics. I'm trying to figure out, will that stop the spread? Because this what this was all about. The whole wearing the mask and doing all this was to stop the spread. Now, has the spread stopped? It slowed down because of the increase of what you call it, population, which is you don't have full-blown adults. 200, 300-pound adults. You have a miniature of that. Meaning you getting like, you know what I mean, and all of that. That's why man, systematical approach of what you call it, the dilemma in your brain. It may be clogged, man. I think so. I think it may be clogged. Jessica Walters, star of Arrested Development. Listen, man, all developments are under either distress or arrest because of the simple fact is, in the middle of something that you deem unstoppable, a pandemic means unstoppable, meaning you can't stop the border from opening up. You can't stop people from going from this to that. You can't stop it. You can slow it down, and you try to do that. You slowed down the process of staying home and all of that. Did that work for you? It wasn't enough because you got greedy with this whole income tax thing, man. And go ahead, be greedy with that. You gotta spend it now. Now you glamorizing it. And go ahead. I'm just gonna wait, man, wait. Let's see what you gonna do next. And legalizing certain productivities only gonna take away from your gambling experiences. So get prepared for that also. Cause more and more I see more gambling now. Shout out to Progressive. Stay progressive out here, man. It's Moon is the president. And Biden is just a stand-in, and I see your approach, Biden. You want to open up and do everything normal, but the pain in America's stomach is not normal. The way America's breathing with the foot on its neck is not normal. The mandate is not normal. It's just not normal. And those that disenfranchise themselves from it suffer the extreme penalty, which is not allowed to go into certain establishments without it. Like I said, the guidelines still in play, but you want to open up everything. It's just a backwards turmoil and for you because, like I said, it's all about the revenue with you. With me, it's about the long term. And long termly, that revenue will never be mine. And neither will it be anyone previously leading at this point right now in the near future. So waste your time and create a world of desperation depending on, I guess, a Joe or a Trump. I'd rather depend on the one, the creator, because it has power over everything. Cuomo reportedly told officials to prioritize COVID testing for some relatives. Listen, man, who knows what's the test for? Because like I said before, I'm looking at the difference between AIDS and COVID-19. I barely see too much of a difference other than opinion. So, if the world happens to have that, what do we do now? In the pandemic, by the way. Because the word pandemic means pretty much every man, woman, and child is left for themselves, man. Desperately. So, the way I seen the fact of the wrong being done and how to try to, I guess, put a band-aid on it. But it's bleeding tremendously. Nightly news full broadcast March, and it's starting to have a stench. It's starting to smell like what do you call it? Kitty litters. But it's not from a cat. It's from what's sitting in America's stomach. What is it, world leaders? What is it? As I said, man, I've been smelling some weird things, man. Just weird. And like I said, the social distance between the what you call it, the 3 feet, that was just a mockery of the 6 feet. You might as well just increase it to 12 feet apart, man. It's ridiculous, man. You want to stop the spread or you want to increase it? You have a different arrangement of presidencies, allegedly, due to democracy. But niggeracy still remains on the face of the planet. And until we can get that under control, which is the bias towards the niggercrats in this campaign, well, periodically, injustice will prevail instead of justice. And America seems to know that all because it has 400 and something years to appropriate those reparationibles. And yet, to this day, still no reparationibles, still no institutionables, private loaning practices between a nation of slaughtered humans. But now, it seems as if we have a new nation of slaughtered humans under the COVID-19 strain. Ah, man. Man charged in 10 counts of first-degree murder in Colorado grocery store. Listen, man. In the pandemic, I don't believe, like I said, if every man's for themselves, stay at home, social distance, protect yourself, it all matters. One dead firefighter missing after fire tears through assisted living. Listen, man. They can do whatever they need to do with that because it's happened in the past. Black Wall Street and all the other situations that a nation of, I guess, so-called humans had to suffer through. What was the reason for it all? It seems to be the same thing. What's in the mind? Let's get into the mind. Or we can all just run around naked. It should be appropriate in the pandemic. I'm just saying. You can call from someone and kill them. From the looks of things. Tennessee man loses 1 million lottery ticket, but finds it again in parking lot. Do you believe that? Like I said, the establishment of gambling has been destroyed. No one gambles anymore because you need every penny, every dime. And looking at the pennies and the dime, it seems to not be enough. These cashiers don't have enough change. 1 dead, 12 injured. And that's another thing. Speaking of not enough change, can we, like I said, get to what's next as far as this fourth stimulus? Because, like I said, God, it's not enough to deal with the traumaticness that America has suffered. It's supposed to be the strongest country on the planet. Why are we in the mass? Because there's a deadly disease that can kill you from a cough, a sneeze, or snot, something that can lay on the surface. But you want to decide that Joe Biden, the man of busing and what is it called, crime bills, is capable of sending your little ones into a place safe where they won't catch something that can deadly damage their future lung prosperity and individual deficiency systems. That was a beautiful way to put that, Moon. That was a beautiful way, huh? That's beautiful. I like that. 6-year-old girl fatally shot by relatives over spilled water. Listen, man. Has it gotten that desperate, man? Has it gotten to that point? Listen, man. Biden first news conference. R.I.P. to the little girl, man. But, like I said, systematically, if you can't supply America with what it's needed, then how could you ever go back to normal? Systematically. Because you still have to give out them PPP loans to them small businesses. It's not, you haven't given out enough stimuluses to enough people. You're giving them out to people that's not spending the money. They're actually just investing it. Which is totally backwards, by the way. And it shows the lack of having. So get prepared, scrap your bundles up, and please decide upon the risk factors. Whether Biden or Trump is in office, or any other previous or numerous presidents. Biden pressed over crisis. No, it's not a crisis. It's more or less the people are a part of America. Mexico is a part of America. trying to separate the land off of opinion because Mexicans are Mexicans and Americans are Americans. It doesn't discriminate against South America and North America. America is America. And Mexico is South America. Periodically from the discrimination rules that already act. Let's get rid of the discrimination rules. And then we can proceed with matters. But until then, there will always be something or something discriminating in the mind. It's in the mind. It's in the mind. The marble, bling. Thinking that, like I said, you can overcome something that came out of nowhere. And until we can figure out where it came from, we can't figure out where it's going. Man. But like I said, to me, I think it started in the mind. Someone thought that you do something, get away with it. Nah. Man, growing challenges, biting, holds. Listen, man, first news conference, man. I'm holding numerous news conferences because America is under an unprecedented time under Moon's presidency. That's why I keep getting do-overs, man. Shout out to Grammarly, man, one of my sponsors, man. Stay up, Grammarly. Like I said, man, the longer people stay up, the longer I see world leaders unsatisfied, man. I watched what's that movie called? The day. What happened to Monday? Like I said, man, that one just triggered me in a way. And the Department of Treasury Secretary, could you please get matters in order because it's a mess right now. It's just a mess. You need to decide, just like Mnuchin had to decide, and all this back and forth between who's going and what information is needed. Use the previous information from the previous administration so you can get on with matters. To go back and forth with it only leads to more chaos and confusion between your economy. But you're willing to take that to the forefront where, like I said, you have to establish ground. This EIP card, listen, you can send that to majority of your Americans. The EIP2, all of that. Send it to them. And let's see where that market gets you because you still have to spend that money through the same system, which I don't know how much you charge towards your interest rate. Like I said, you wanted to get into banking because you seen Moon Bank work. Moon has his own card out there, the Moon card, man. It's branched off with Puerto Rico, man. And like I said, that's why you want to halt Mexico from becoming a dreamer right now. You got them sitting down there with them plastic bags on them when you can just let them go and let them prosperate and do what they need to do out here, man. They came here for a reason. That was work. Now you saying you need workers? There they go. Now, let's put that into perspective and get on with the ball game. Why halt it down? If you believe that you're capable of doing what you think you can do, then why not do it right away? Improve yourself to be the #1 president. But I doubt it. And with that being said, I may not have to do a video until after Ramadan. With that being said, peace. I gotta go.